what do you understand by the term menstrual cycle? If I ask some of you, what is your menstrual cycle? Some will say 2 days, others 4 days, others 7 days. The menstrual cycle does not mean the period through which you bleed. Your menstrual cycle is the first day when you receive your period to the last day before you receive your next period. Today, I am going to help you understand your menstrual cycle and show you how you can calculate your menstrual cycle. Welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Raisha, a pharmacist and a fertility and women's health expert. If you are new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below. We have two very important organs when it comes to the menstrual cycle. We have here the brain right here, and we have the ovary right here. And so the brain has the hypothalamus in the anterior pituitary gland, and the ovary has a lot of follicles like that. And so each follicle has one egg. The brain here has the hypothalamus, and here we have the anterior pituitary. And so the brain releases what we call the gonadotropin releasing hormone. So the gonadotropin releasing hormone is like a messenger that is sent to the anterior, sends signals to the anterior pituitary gland, telling it, my friend, release follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. And I also want to take you now to this diagram. And so you can see now the anterior pituitary gland is releasing some follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. The follicle stimulating hormone at this particular time, they are in higher amounts compared to the luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone is in small amounts. And so this follicle stimulating hormone is in very high amounts. So it sends signals to the ovaries, telling the follicles, please grow, please develop. And so now the follicles start developing. They start developing. And as they are developing, they are releasing what we call estrogen. So you can see the levels of estrogen start increasing till a particular time now. So when there is now enough estrogen, it sends back signals to the brain, telling the brain we are now ready. And if you can see, so when the levels of estrogen are high now, the brain releases an upsurge of luteinizing hormone. You can see now luteinizing hormone increases all of a sudden. So we say there is an upsurge of luteinizing hormone. And this now makes the most mature follicle to release an egg. And that is what we call ovulation. And so you can see now that now during the time of ovulation, even the levels of follicle stimulating hormone are high a little bit. But now, and also the levels of luteinizing hormone after ovulation, they start decreasing. And also the levels of estrogen start decreasing. But now when this follicle is released, so the egg is released and the follicle remains left like that. And so, before that, I want you to note that at this point, when the estrogen levels were very high, they were sending signals to the uterus, telling the uterus, a baby is coming, get ready. So at this point, the uterine lining, the endometrial lining is thickening, it is growing. It is like building now the house where the baby will stay. And so now it is thickening, and that is why we call it proliferative. And so estrogen leads to proliferation of the endometrial lining. And so now, this remains, the follicle stimulating, they form something that we call a corpus luteum. Big words today. And so this corpus luteum starts secreting progesterone. And so that's why you see now after ovulation, the levels of progesterone start increasing, they start increasing. And so now during this time, the uterus is ready. It is waiting for the baby. It is ready. Now the egg went there to meet the sperm. So if fertilization takes place, now these hormones continue to be in high levels in the blood. But if fertilization does not take place, Now you are the uterus and you are told, prepare, build a house, a child is coming. But now there is no child. You wait for the child, you wait for the child, there is no child. So you find that the levels of progesterone and estrogen, they just decrease and menstruation occurs. A person should receive their periods between 2 to 7 days. So anything above 7, those who receive their periods maybe for 10 days, for 11 days, now that is abnormal. Anything between less than 2 days, now that is abnormal. So a person normally should receive their period between 2 to 7 days. Another thing is that we have the normal cycle. A normal cycle is between 21 days to 35 days. Now this is a normal. Majority of women usually have a 28-day cycle. So if the time, so what is a menstrual cycle? Menstrual cycle is the time between the first day of your period to the day before your next period. That is how you calculate your cycle. What do I mean? If on 1st February is when I receive my period, and then I receive my next period on 29th of February. So the day before this, the day before your next period is on day 28. So this is the beginning of the next cycle. So from day 1 to day 28, that is your cycle. So this person's cycle is 28 days. Another thing, if I receive my period on 1st of Feb and I receive my next period on 3rd of March. So the day before this is 2nd. So this is the beginning of my next cycle. So here on 2nd March, so between 1st of February to 2nd of March, that is this person's cycle. And this is 31 days. So this person has their cycle at 31 days. And so now you can calculate your cycle using the help of your calendar or even using apps. So you have to track your cycle. You have to say that this is the first day of my period. And then you wait for your next period. And then now the days that are in between, that is how you calculate your cycle. I really hope that you have understood your menstrual period and how you can calculate your cycle. And now in our next videos, I am going to show you how now you can use now your cycle to calculate your safe days, to calculate your fertile days, and how to know your ovulation days. If you like this video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, my dear, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe and hit the notification bell down below.